What is up, you all? We're back with another Scream 7 video. So moments ago, even though this felt like we've got this before, we just got Courtney Cox confirmed to be signing on for Scream 7. I mean, we kind of knew this was going to happen because we got to have Courtney Cox in a 7 film after everything that happened in 6. But before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps. Now, this comes from the confirmed source of Variety, saying that Courtney Cox has officially re-signed on for Scream 7. Now, this has me excited just because everything is coming together. We've been getting a lot of cast announcements lately. We just got Anna Kemp actually not too long ago, so that's another amazing cast sign on. We have a lot of people. Like, this seems like it's going to be one of the most stacked Scream movies. Now, pushing forward to get into the details of everything with Courtney Cox signing on as Gale Weathers. Sources tell me that actor will once again play Gale Weathers in the 7th installment of the beloved horror franchise. In September, Cox told me, "I'm not officially signed on. I'm not, but there will be a Scream 7. Not that Cox didn't want to return. She said she was waiting for a final script, but was excited that the film will mark Kevin Williamson's first time directing a Scream movie, in quotations. Williamson wrote the script for the first Scream in '96. You can't get any better than that choice," Cox said of Williamson. "It's going to be fun." And she also said at the time, Cox also expressed dismay that Dewey, David Arquette, was killed off in Scream 5, but hope filmmakers could find a way to bring him back. I understand the reason they did it, but whoa, talk about a missed character. She said Dewey is so loved by the Scream fans, they have to figure it out. So yes, Courtney Cox is back on for the Scream franchise, being Scream 7. Now, how could Courtney Cox return? I think that is going to definitely kick up from her recovering from her injuries in Scream 6. And we do know that Mason Gooden has signed on also as Chad. Now, I think they're definitely going to have a friendship. It's going to be something where a connection is there that's bringing it over to this new story with Scream 7. So everything that went on in Scream 6 with the situation with NYC and everything with the Carpenter sisters somehow is going to be factored into this new story some way. Maybe just bring up a couple things, you know, that happened to kind of make it feel like we're still in that same universe. Now, we know that Sidney Prescott has, you know, a daughter that played by Isabel May in this. We got McKenna Grace on. Now, I think that what's going to happen is at a point it's going to be two separate, you know, like POV stories going on. Like, Sidney's going to have her little story going on, but we're going to also get a lot of traction and investment in the character of Gale Weathers. I think she's going to have something going with her. Possibly, I don't know why, in my heart, y'all. I don't know why. I'm serious. I feel like that this can be the movie that Gale Weathers takes her last breath. I think that it's not too much left with Gale Weathers. I mean, you can still do stuff with her because of her past and everything she did as, you know, a reporter and all the stuff that she has put out there through books. Maybe a Ghostface comes from the past to actually connect with her before they even get to Sidney, and then it leads to Sidney getting involved. That's another way they can pull Sidney in. Y'all know in my previous videos I talked about what if Sidney's daughter actually is the reason that she gets back involved with Ghostface because someone tries to, you know, take her out, or maybe, you know, Sidney's daughter's friend gets killed in the opening kill. Maybe her friend is McKenna Grace or Celeste O'Connor. I think that pushing forward, just talking about everything with Scream 7, that what if actually Gale Weathers is like one of the opening kills? Like, what if she's like an opening kill, or even if she's not the opening kill, she's an early on kill that brings Sidney so hard in front line into this plot and story that we're going to be invested behind Sidney and, you know, things like that. And the thing is, people don't think that'll happen because Dewey actually got took out. But I think that Mason Gooden will go out before Gale. Like, if we had to pick, I think they'll kill off Mason Gooden as Chad before Gale Weathers get took out. I think if Gale Weathers did get took out, it'd be towards the end, but I'm just speculating and having fun. Now, pushing forward, we saw that Courtney Cox speaks about, you know, Dewey actually returning because he's a missed character. Maybe we can get some flashbacks involved and things like that, or it can be something where I heard something crazy out in the Scream community where people said that the Carpenter sister story never, you know, happened. It was never real. It was just like a spinoff, like a stab type of thing from Scream 5 to 6. It was just like a stab movie for real. So in that way, Dewey is still alive and canon in a story, which I think that's just a little bit messy. That's my opinion. But I think if they did bring Dewey back, it should be something with like a flashback, because at this point his character is gone. Yes, I do miss Dewey. It pulls at the heartstrings when I think about it. I think with this whole plot and story, it's going to take a different twist and turn, being that Gale Weathers is also going to be frontline in this story, and I think her past is going to hunt her a lot, being that, you know, she's dealt with a lot of things through books and, you know, her reporting and stuff like that. So maybe this Ghostface has it out for Sydney and Gale. And either way, I feel like everything is starting to connect, because Gale is going to be the reason I think that Chad has, you know, a nice coming back to the franchise. I think because they're going to have a connection where, hey, you remember what happened, you know, in NYC? You remember everything that happened with Sam Carpenter, Tara Carpenter? Hey, matter of fact, are you still dating Tara? Like things like that. And it's going to connect and make it feel like Sydney was there, but the whole time she wasn't. She was on, you know, a hideout. But it's going to kind of connect Sydney, her kids, her family to this story, because I'm pretty sure Gale is going to bring that up to Sydney at a point. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it has to happen at a point. Either way, I feel like this one, Sydney and Gale is in danger, to be honest, because now that they have this new generation with McKenna Gray, Celeste O'Connor, Isabel May, Asa German, we got Anna Kemp signed on. I think that they're trying to form like a different group right in front of our face. But I'm not saying Sydney's going to bite the dust, but if anybody bites the dust, like from the legacy characters, it's definitely, I wouldn't even call Mason Good a legacy character. He just did a great job in the previous Scream movies. But I do think that he could be something that, you know, really creates a lot of emotional attachment if he gets killed, and it can be the bridge leading up to Sydney going into, you know, protective mom mode for her daughters, because Gale can tell Sydney, hey, this was the kid you remember from, you know, the previous events in Woodsboro. He just died. You know, I just was with him in NYC. So I think overall that Gale is going to have a lot of, you know, risky moments in this. I think that if she makes it out, she's going to go through a lot. If she makes it out from beginning to end, Gale is going to go through a lot in Scream 7, because I feel like for some reason it's going to be two main stories going on. I feel like we're going to have Gale and Sydney pushing forward their own stories, leading to that middle point of the whole plot and story. And yeah, I think that it's going to be something like that, where eventually they're going to lead up to being together and things like that. Or that would be so fucking crazy if Gale's the opening kill. Could you imagine like a scene where Gale's on, like, you know, on the talk show or whatever, or she's reporting, she gets a call live and it's like fucking Ghostface, and he's like, yeah, you know, and afterwards she gets killed, or she's like coming home from work and she gets killed. I mean, Patrick Dempsey is one of the ones that I'm looking forward to being, you know, revealed, because he can be the opening kill. He can bring some emotional attachment. Like I said, maybe Isabel May is Sidney Prescott's stepdaughter. Maybe it's just Mark Kincaid's daughter from another woman, and maybe this girl Isabel May, Sidney Prescott's daughter, can be Ghostface. Maybe she has it out for Sydney because she broke up a happy home. I don't know. And maybe Gale's doing research or something. I think either way, this story is going to be a lot different from the previous Screams, and we're going to have a good story, especially with Courtney Cox being next to Sidney Prescott and, you know, Patrick Dempsey. I do think that either way, like the killer that's involved in Scream 7 will definitely be something that's going to be aggressive and dangerous, just like a Jill or a Roman. It's going to definitely be one of those type of Ghostface, because it has to be at this point, right? It's a new story, it's a new branch off, it's something different. It's like a rebirth of Scream. So I think it's going to be something that definitely cements a factor in our head, and I think that Courtney Cox is going to have an even bigger role in Scream 7, just off how she left off for Scream 6. Definitely going to have a lot of recovery with this character and see what she's going through. So yeah, guys, comment down below what you all think about everything we just talked about. Courtney Cox is back for fucking Scream 7. Let's go. Comment down below. Unfortunately, this is the end of the video. I want y'all to hit me up on all my social medias at ILIKESCARY, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.